Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Wow. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. For those of you that were listening to the last hour of the show, for those of you just tuning in right now, it's great to have you here. We got a fabulous show. TK Mitchell is in the house.
Hey there.
She's right there. She's the founder, creator of Lifestyle 120, and we've been doing a radio series together to take a look at, what we can do to really bring the conversation to the forefront about what it means to live an amazing life, what it means to do what she does with people, and helping us understand that we can be health conscious. We can do that, and we can do it in ways. We can do it in steps. If you've ever gotten, or if you've ever seen, or if you have not gotten a copy of her book, Sip the Garden, Fun, Easy Drinks for a Healthier Family, it is not only amazing, it has some of the most incredible photographs of exactly what she's talking about. The recipes are through the roof. And each time we've been on air together, we've been looking at a different part of a lifestyle. I also want to say that she is somebody that's also a playwright, and we're going to hear about the play that she has created as we move forward today. But are you ready for today's show? Help everybody, help me. I'm drowning in sugar. Expert answers with my co-host Lifestyle 120, TK Mitchell. Help me, TK.
I'm going to help you. Yes. Hello there. Oh, gosh. Yes. Welcome everybody to the show. We are drowning. Yeah. And I guess the thing really is people wondering, well, we know that we love sweet things, but how did we get here and why are we drowning in sugar?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yes,
I think it's important that we, stop looking at everybody and say, stop the sugar, stop the sugar. There is something else going on around here in the United States. Tell us what that is.
Yes, and so, first of all, we all know that sugar's everywhere and it's in just about everything, but I'm not sure that everybody is aware that, and this may sound surprising, that the United States is the largest consumer of sweeteners in the world and one of the largest sugar producers. We started way back in 1689 when the first sugar refinery was built in New York City. And then the colonists soon began to sweeten their breakfast porridge with refined sugar. And within 10 years, individual consumption had reached 4 pounds a year. Now, that 4 pounds a year may sound like a lot. It sounded like a lot to me. But now, the average American consumes more than 100 pounds of sugar per year. That is just crazy. Yeah. And it's just, well, as far as the definition is concerned, the definition is very, very simple because sugar is a simple carbohydrate that occurs naturally in foods, such as the grains you're eating, the beans, and the fruits and the vegetables. That sounds pretty simple, and it doesn't sound like it would harm you that much, correct? But then the problem, well, actually, what happens with those specialized foods like grains and beans and fruits and vegetables, when unprocessed, sugar contains a variety of vitamins, minerals, and enzymes and proteins. For example, when brown rice or other whole grains are cooked and then chewed and digested, the natural carbohydrates break down nice and uniformly into separate glucose molecules, and then these molecules enter the bloodstream where they are burned smoothly and evenly, allowing the body to absorb all the good stuff. That's one end. But now on the other hand, Refined white table sugar is what we're talking about
Yeah.
specifically today, and it's also called sucrose. It's very different. Now, extracted and processed from sugar canes or beets, it lacks the vitamins, the minerals, the fiber, and thus requires extra effort from the body to digest. And some common names, of course, just for our listeners, if they're probably wondering, well, what are the categories here? We're talking about all the sugars. We're talking about confectioner sugar, powdered sugar, brown sugar, corn syrup, dextrose, glucose, high fructose corn syrup, which people have heard of, honey, sorbitol, mannitol, xylitol, turbinado sugar, and the list goes on. So sugar is not a nutrient. I just want to point that out. You're not
Yeah.
getting any nutritional benefit from adding sugar to your menu. And what's interesting is the body must deplete its own store of minerals and enzymes to absorb the sucrose properly. Therefore, instead of providing the body with nutrition, it actually creates deficiency. And then it quickly enters the bloodstream and wreaks havoc on the blood sugar level, pushing it sky high, and then, as some people probably can identify with this, causing irritability and nervous tension, hyperactivity, and then dropping the blood sugar level very low, causing fatigue. I'm so tired now. I'm so depressed. Oh, I don't know. I'm feeling like this. I'm weary. I'm exhausted. And I'm sure a lot of people can identify with that. So much of the sugar that we eat is hidden in foods that we don't even think of as sweet. And I
Yeah.
think that's an issue because sugar is added to breads and cereals and peanut butter and soups and condiments and baby food, hot dogs, packaged dinners, frozen meals. Yeah, it's in everything. And it's often disguised in the fancy language. Label, like I said, is corn syrup, dextrose, maltose, etc. And added sugars are found in, this is a pretty high percentage, added sugars found in 74% of all packaged foods. Yeah, so yep, it's a leading source of,
Yeah.
yeah. I was wondering,
Yeah.
if our listeners can think about this. So what do they think is the leading source of added sugar in the American diet? Just think about that
Uh-oh.
for a second.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
thinking about it.
yeah.
I'm thinking about it. The leading source
Yes, the
of
leading.
sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I wonder what we think that is.
Yeah, I'm
I wonder
wondering.
what we think that is. I wonder what you all think that is.
Yeah.
Let's leave that hanging for a minute. For those of you that are thinking about that, 1
Uh-huh.
800 930 2819, give us a call. What do you think the leading source of sugar is? 1 8,
Mm-hmm.
first caller, call in with an answer to that question. And you know what? We're going to give you a copy of TK's book. That's what we'll do. 1 800 930 2819. But
Okay.
here we are, we're talking about sugar as if and I know we're going to get to this later
Mm-hmm.
on in the show, but
Yes.
people would say, okay, what's the big deal?
Mm-hmm.
What's the big deal? Okay,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's some information on obesity, but
Mm-hmm.
now we're finding out the other effects it has, right?
Yes. Yes.
We're finding out, what this has to do with our body balancing, what it has to do with the pH level in our body,
Yes.
and what does
Yes.
that have to do? What does sugar have to do with other things that are on the forefront here? And I know we're going to talk about this in the
Mm-hmm.
next segment,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
mostly, which is health.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, and I'll kind of wait for that answer to come from our caller before I get into that. But the thing is that the the first fuel our body breaks down for energy is carbohydrates and then
Mhm.
fat and then protein. And then all carbs, though, are not created equal. I think, that needs to be pointed out too. So the not so good for you carbs include like boxed cereals and cookies and pastries and simple carbs, which are processed and stripped of vital nutrients. The carbs that are better for you are the whole foods, like fresh fruits, vegetables, legumes, complex carbs like whole grains, which are all full of vitamins and minerals. And although fruits and vegetables are considered simple carbs, um, composed of basic sugars, they are different from the cakes and the cookies because they have fiber and vitamins. That's the key element that separates the fruits and the vegetables. The fiber in fruits and vegetables changes the way the body produces their sugars, making them somewhat like complex carbohydrates. But remember, if you want to reduce sugar in your diet, then you must reduce the total carbohydrate intake, including the brown rice and the whole grain bread, and then serve yourself a balanced plate, which includes the fresh vegetables. So yeah.
Yeah.
But
Well, it's a big conversation around
it
that
is.
too, because I don't think I don't think what you're saying either is, okay, let's get all this done and let's, kind of wing it ourselves or,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we know the answer to the questions, but we're inviting one of our listeners to call in. And
Yes.
TK didn't tell me the answer to the question, by the way. I don't know the answer. But for those of you that
I
want to
bet you
call
know
in and
the
give
answer,
us a
Pat.
shot, we'll
I
take the
bet you know
first
the answer.
caller, 1-800-930-2819. Yeah,
Yeah.
join us in a little conversation. Give us a shout. Give us a shout out at what you think the answer is. You're going to get a book anyway.
Yeah.
Fabulous book. So
Yeah.
just give us a
I
call
like
about
to hear
that.
that from
But
and
this is not just a conversation,
mhm,
TK, about, oh, let's just talk sugar. There's
right.
a real problem here.
There's a real problem. And I like to share a personal story, if I may.
Yeah, please.
I am definitely aware today of the negative side effects of just sugar, carbohydrates in general, because it's not as much a part of my life as it was years ago when I was enjoying my Hostess Twinkies.
Mhm.
Um, it's important to note that too much sugar can affect each person differently. That's why it's important to discover what nutrition plan works best for you. And as your holistic health and wellness coach, I can help you figure that out. That's the basis of my business Lifestyle 120. But during my initial appointment with the integrative doctor that changed my life 10 years ago, he inquired about my breakfast. And I told him that for years I had been blending a drink for breakfast during the week and then went out to breakfast on the weekend. And when he asked about the content of my breakfast drink, I proudly told him, like I know what I'm doing. I proudly told him the main ingredients were 2 pieces of fruit and fruit juice. And I was just so proud of that. And he looked at me and he go, yeah, he was not very impressed. He says, you know what, that's too much sugar. But I said, I'm not eating sugar. I'm eating fruit.
Oh,
And, I was wasn't putting sugar in my drink. And so I had a lot of lab work done that day. And one was that pH balance you had mentioned earlier, Pat. The pH balance test,
yeah,
which is a reading for me
yeah.
after looking over my pH results and noticing that my blood was too acidic. He said, that breakfast drink is an excellent idea. I love it. Yeah, that's great. You've been doing that for a long time, and that's wonderful. But I would rethink, he said, the juice and limit your fruit to 1 to 1.5 servings per day because it is sugar. So that statement was transformative. So I've learned how to enjoy sweetness in my life without going overboard. So yeah.
Well, and I think that's part of the education. I haven't.
Hmm.
I want to say for me,
Hmm.
I haven't sat down and had a glass of juice that I could think about. Man, it's got to be a good 20, 30 years.
Okay.
The
Yes.
closest I've come to it is tomato juice,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
But I don't know why I did that. I don't know what I heard about it.
Hmm.
I think I was more concerned about how the juice was being made. And then certainly later on, you and I, we've talked about this on previous shows, but
Hmm.
we don't know if there's additives being put into the juice or so forth and so on.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
all of
Hmm.
the above. We're going to take a
All of the
short
above.
break, everybody. When we come back, more with the show. If you want to take a shot at the question, give us a call, 1-800-930-2819. Tell everybody what that question is one more time, TK.
Okay. The question is, what is the leading source of added sugar in the American diet?
There you go. The
Okay.
leading source. The
The
leading
leading
source.
source.
Right.
Absolutely.
The leading source. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we're going to be talking with TK about, yeah, sugar, but how is it affecting our health?
Yes.
Sugar is sweet, but not so sweet for our health.
Exactly.
Not so sweet.
Not so
Let's
sweet.
no. Let's take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back with the show. Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days because when each of us gets called, to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Tune in to the Angels and Answers Psychic Radio Show with clairvoyants Artie Hoffman and Sky Siegel every Thursday for a 2-hour show, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Transformation Talk Radio. Artie and Sky deliver spiritual and motivational messages with passion and a sense of humor. Call in 800-930-2819 for live and on-air readings. Visit artiehoffman.com and skyofangels.com.
Are you ready to stop stress, anxiety, and low self-esteem from running your life? Join award-winning author Dr. Friedemann Schaub for Empowerment Radio and learn breakthrough solutions to switch out of survival mode and approach every day with great ease, joy, and purpose. Tune in the first and third Wednesday at 11 a.m. Pacific to Empowerment Radio with host Dr. Friedemann Schaub on Transformation Talk Radio. Visit thefearandanxietysolution.com to learn more.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Are you ready for a game changer? Sarah Westall is bringing you Business Game Changers Radio. Sarah brings you leading experts, visionaries, and newsmakers who provide the best commentary on big issues and cutting-edge innovations. Sarah's 20 years as a business executive will help you think like an entrepreneur with expertise, energy, and attitude. Tune in to Business Game Changers Mondays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Almost everyone at some time in their lives ask themselves, what am I? Most of our questions are ego-generated and simply don't address the problem of our false self. It's time to relax your ego and embody your soul. Dr. Dan Cohen, neurologist, inventor, and author, has created tools to awaken, a new way to transform from who you thought you were into what you truly are. Visit toolstoawaken.com today.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. Welcome back to the show. Great to have you here. TK, before we jump ahead and go to our caller that wants to answer the question, right? Before we get to that, and then we have, another fabulous caller who has a comment about the show. Tell us how we can find out more about you. Tell us how folks can work with you directly, all of the above.
Yes, I would like to speak with anyone who is interested in making some lifestyle changes. That's what I do as your holistic health and wellness coach. And you can contact me, take a look at my website, lifestyle120.com, and you can message me there, or you can send me an email at tk@lifestyle120.com. Love to have a conversation with you. I work with individuals who are serious about making some sustainable lifestyle changes so that they can live the life they love. If you're not where you think you should be in your life, I can help put you on the right track so that you can be successful through nutrition and lifestyle interventions.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
Somewhere, right.
Right, that's what we're saying. Got to start somewhere. Now let's go, Benny, to our fabulous listener who wants to take a shot at the question.
Yeah, it's Naomi calling in from Seattle. Naomi, welcome to the show.
Hi, Naomi. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I was thinking, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Okay. All right. I think the answer to that is fructose.
Yes. Well, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, high fructose corn syrup, you mean, right?
Yes.
Yes, and you're right on track there. I mean, because I was thinking, really, what I wanted to say is you are right on track, because the leading source of added sugar is liquid sugar in sodas, energy drinks,
Yes.
and sports drinks, and so you're right on track.
Yeah.
And
Right.
because the liquid sugar doesn't contain fiber, the body processes it very quickly, which causes more sugar to be sent to the pancreas and the liver, and more than either can properly process, with the resulting buildup of sugar, can lead to heart disease, liver disease, and diabetes. So, yep, you're right on
Yes.
target. Yay!
Okay. Hey, let us get some information. Do you have a comment to make, Naomi, about it?
No, I just I was like, I read enough packages, the labeling on the packages to know that, that stuff seems to be in everything. I don't care what you're eating or, trying to have as a meal. It's in everything.
Yeah.
Stuff that you would think that, things that you would think there was no need to even put sugar in.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. And it is. It's kind of super crazy, though, when we see that, for sure. Hey,
Yeah.
thank you so much for calling in, and stay on the line. Let Benny get some information from you. And before we do that, Mr. Benny, want to go to the phones and take our next caller.
Oh, unfortunately, that caller dropped. I messaged you just to let you know. Sorry about that.
Okay.
I'll handle Naomi.
Yes, and you know what, Pat? I actually wanted to add to what Naomi was saying too, because she's just right on target here, as far as what our guidelines are too, because the American Heart Association recommends adults get no more than 6 to 9 teaspoons of added sugar per day, yet most Americans are eating more than 22 teaspoons per day. That's 3 times the recommended limit for us. And if you're enjoying those coffee blends, well, you may think that your afternoon cup of coffee only has a little sugar, but for example, a 16-ounce Frappuccino actually contains 44 grams of sugar. That's 9 to 10 teaspoons. That's 1 teaspoon above the limit of added sugar for the entire day. So, not saying you should give up your coffee blend, but know that if you're serious about reducing your sugar intake, that coffee blend is all the added sugar you would be allowed for one day according to these particular guidelines. And so, yeah, and then we're talking about soda pop.
Yeah.
And 64 grams of sugar are in an average 20-ounce bottle of pop. And then those are empty calories. There's nothing that your body can use. The question is, would you be willing to wolf down 13 to 14 sugar cubes in just 5 minutes? Who can do that? Well, that's what you're really doing when you drink soda. You're drinking liquid sugar in the form of a fancy label. So thank you, Naomi, for talking to us about that added sugar, the fructose, and other additives as well. Absolutely.
Yeah. And, as we're talking about this, though, too, it also really brings, a couple things to the forefront, that we're thinking about. But we got Melissa back. I think we should go right to the phones, and let's do that, Mr. Benny. Let's hear from Melissa.
Sure, we got her back. Melissa, hello.
All right.
Hey,
Melissa,
we had a
welcome
power
to the
outage
show.
here. Anyway, speaking of power outages, I am a diabetic, and I had a waking glucose of 380 in January, and I just brought it down this last week to 180. And it's falling, and that's great. And the thing that I have cut out is starch and sugar drinks. You're absolutely 100% right about the sugar drinks. It is insidious. But the starch is something that's very interesting, because starch itself is not really a food. It just goes through the first 3 feet of your tract. Your GI tract goes right into your blood system. So, there's this joke. Would you eat a teaspoon of sugar on a bowl full of Wheaties, or would you eat a teaspoon of Wheaties on a bowl full of sugar? It's the same thing. So when we talk about grains and starches and rice and potatoes and corn, it's all something that it just like it raises and spikes your glucose like you would not believe. So from January till now, and this is something I chose to do, I just cut out all starch. Yeah. And I walk every day. I walk 40 minutes every day, and I lift weights and I swim. So, but even with just cutting out the starch, my blood sugar drop dramatically. And the other thing I was going to comment on was on the sort of rise when you have the sugar and you're all like, woo, you know, in conjunction with caffeine, which is why we know why there's a drug dealer on every corner, right?
Yeah.
But
right.
In conjunction with caffeine, you do have it seems like, I got a sugar high, I got a sugar crash. Well, it's not really the sugar that's crashing you, it's the adrenaline. And so when you get that sugar rush, it's the adrenaline. And when that adrenaline is done, that's when you feel the drop. Mm-hmm. And so, I actually eat a little bit of candy every single day, a little bit of sugar. But I'm very careful about it. I do not eat above 500 points of glycemic load, not index load, every single day. And I make sure I get my walk in, because those blood muscles are the strongest and the biggest muscles that will actually utilize your slow twitch muscle activity, which will actually bring the glucose into the muscle tissue via the insulin. And so I just find that this is such an under-talked about thing in the diabetes community and also in the world in large, which is starch, grain. Oh, multigrain is better. Well, it's not better because there's more of it. Exactly. So, if you really want to bring your blood sugar down, and, for some people they're not diabetics, but if you want to bring your blood sugar down and stop being insulin resistant, then cut out all or at least most of the starch, because that is going to change things for you.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you so
because
much.
You're right on track with that. I mean, we think, wait a minute, I'm not eating. Listen, I'm not putting any maple syrup on my big stack of pancakes today.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
I mean,
that's
isn't that really the kind of little joke we have right there, right?
Absolutely.
Well,
Thank you.
One more thing I want to say,
and
that is that, I used to go on Saturdays to have a stack of pancakes, maybe 3, right?
Yeah.
And every Saturday I do that. Well, I eat so well all week, and I'm going to go and have my stack of pancakes on Saturday. Well, I found out that my glycemic load as a diabetic should never exceed 500 a day. Well, guess how much 5-inch diameter pancake with no syrup is?
What?
346.
Linda, you listening to the show? Linda, Linda, you listening to this?
She's quiet back there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Thank you. Hey, everybody, we're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with TK. We got lots more coming. We're fired up about sugar. Fired up about sugar. Come on, let's put that fire out. We'll be right back.
Hi, this is Leslie Fontaine. Have you ever tried to just shift your present moment experience? Do it now. Just move your energy in a direction and watch what happens. Often we panic at the blocks that come up and we just stop. But today, try not to do that. Continue from your heart or solar plexus to shift in that new direction, whether it's in the middle of an argument, in the middle of some depression you're feeling, or some discouragement. What happens for you as you do that? The opportunities are amazing. Just hold that space. If you're ready to shift into your best life, visit me at lesliefontaine.com and let's talk about unfolding all that you want to be, do, and have. You'll find sessions, classes, audio products, all to help remove the blocks and move you into your potential. And listen to my show, Sheer Alchemy, on Transformation Talk Radio, Wednesdays at 10 Pacific and 1 Eastern.
Francine Vale is a being of light. She believes that all people of planet Earth are as well. As co-host of the Angel Healer radio show, Francine teaches you heart-centered ways to manifest healing on your own behalf and how to integrate love more fully into your daily life. Connect with your angels as you find your life flowing with ease and harmony. Walk the path of light with Francine and Dr. Pat Basili every month on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
Sky Siegel co-hosts one of today's most popular psychic shows, Angels and Answers, with Artie Hoffman, as she communicates healing messages from the spirit world. These messages can be astounding, enlightening, and life-changing. Born with the God-given talent of inner guidance and the amazing ability to heal, Sky has healed thousands of people. Schedule a reading with Sky now. Call 908-500-1474 and visit skyofangels.com.
Have you ever tried to make lifestyle changes but had difficulty following through? Imagine what it would be like to get up each morning with energy, clarity, and motivation to tackle the day. If you want to get past limiting barriers that are preventing you from living your best life, join holistic health and wellness coach T. Carrie Mitchell each month on the Dr. Pat Show. Or visit lifestyle120.com today and start to receive the personal attention you deserve.
Get into it for 2016. Do you want more prosperity, clarity, energy, and balance in your life? Join Lynn Brown now for one of her amazing workshops, each focusing on a key part of living your best life. For more information and to register for one of these amazing workshops, visit lynnbrownevent.com. That's lynnbrownevent.com. And get into it this 2016 with Lynn Brown. Hey, everybody, welcome back. TK is in the house. Love, love, love. TK, please tell folks about how they can find out about you. And let's take a minute here before we jump back in. You got a really cool event coming up.
Yes,
I'm like
I do.
thrilled about this. You're just like, oh my gosh.
Oh, gosh, I'm so excited about this too. Again, they can get in touch with me. Just visit my website, lifestyle120.com, or send me or you could text me. You can message me there at the website, or you can email me at tk@lifestyle120.com. Be happy to chat with you. But yes, I have this fabulous event coming up on August the 14th. I wrote this play a few years ago called Junk Food Junkie No More. It's a wonderful script for the young people, and it's fun, it's lyrical, and it is encouraging kids, their families, students, all our youngsters to adopt a healthy lifestyle. And I'm just so thrilled that LEAP, a Literary Exquisite Arts Project, has bought into this project, and we're working with the kids in the community now, getting them ready for this big to-do. It's going to be the theatrical premiere. So that, I think, that we have that posted there, but if not, you can find that on my website as well. We're accepting donations because everybody that's participating in this event is volunteering their time. All the specialists, all of the stage coaches, I just love that word.
Yeah.
And everybody who's volunteering their time to work with these kids 3 times a week are volunteering their time, and we will need help with props and stagecraft, stage setup, the props, and the photocopying, our playbill, and so forth, and with costumes as well. So you can go to www.jazzicreations.com/play, or you can go to my website, and up in the events section of my website, click there and you can get more information. I would appreciate if anybody would be willing to donate to our cause, because we really do need some help on this to get it up and moving. Yeah, so
Awesome.
thanks for the opportunity to mention that. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. Junk Food Junkie No More.
Awesome.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk a minute about, and that is exciting too. What a great, great venue for you to put together for everybody, because we have to start at the kids.
Yes.
People say we have to start at the parents, but I don't know. Sometimes I think the children, can help us.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, let's talk about this. We don't really want to give too much up. So is it possible to have my cake and eat it too?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me if it is, because a lot of times it's not.
Yeah, it is possible to have the cake and eat it too, and what I want to say too about that is that what we're doing on the show here is deploying a rescue mission here to try to save you from drowning in sugar, but absolutely. And so I wanted to spend just a little bit of time speaking about Speaking about the artificial sweeteners, which goes in this whole category, I mean, we're talking about the artificial sweeteners, substitutes that have been approved by the FDA, like aspartame and saccharin and sucralose and acesulfame and neotame and all those fancy words. And I just would like to share with the listeners, if you're using those, I would try to avoid those as much as possible, because the artificial sweeteners, also known as the sugar substitutes, are substances that are used instead of sucrose to sweeten the foods, and many are associated with a long list. I mean, it's huge, a long list of health concerns. And aspartame, for example, contains well-recognized neurotoxins. But the good news is that most of the symptoms associated with that, we don't have time to go over all those symptoms on the show, but most of the symptoms associated with artificial sweeteners are alleviated once you discontinue its use. So that's really wonderful. So our genes can be changed in just a few days by what we eat on a regular basis. And so information is one of the best weapons that we have for making lifestyle changes. But I just want to reiterate, too, that our body requires real, clean, fresh nutrients. Is going to react in different ways to artificial processed foods. And as far as diet soda is concerned, just give that up. Just decide today that you're going to give up diet soda because it has those artificial ingredients in there. But the question is, do you have an alternative option when preparing recipes at home? Now, I like raw organic blackstrap molasses because it contains vitamins and minerals. Organic unrefined maple syrup contains some nutrients and is an alternative to use on occasion for your baking needs. However, you're not free to drink the whole bottle because all these items contain sugar, so you must use them sparingly. Now, raw coconut nectar or coconut palm sugar may be a better choice than cane sugar because it has less fructose, and you want to consume as little added fructose as possible. I mean, regarding calories, however, there's little advantage. But I'll tell our listeners, my favorite healthy alternative sweetener is organic dates. Because, yes, they have been brought in directly from the grove. Just one date in a recipe is all you need to crush your sugar tooth, your sweet tooth. And my second favorite is stevia. Especially the raw green stevia. That's the leaf ground into a powder. So it's minimally processed, it won't spike your blood sugar, and contains some nutrients and fiber. So stevia has an advantage over the other alternatives because it has no calories. And these are just some choices for you. And of course, fruits and vegetables offer a little sweetness in your life as well. You won't see these advertised on a television commercial because they're not products. So nature's gift to us are delicious fruits and vegetables. But just a note too, if we're talking about making a lifestyle change, is that there's a difference though between dried fruit and fresh fruit. I just want to be clear on that. So is there anything wrong, for example, with raisins? Of course not. I mean, a few raisins tossed into a salad, that's fine. It has an exquisite taste. But be aware of the sugar content of dried fruit. I mean, ounce for ounce, I find grapes to be more satisfying because you can munch more sweetness longer, in my opinion. And then dried fruit has less phytonutrients, and because during the drying process, the sugar content becomes more concentrated, thus adding a few more calories. Now, there's a similar situation going on with fresh fruit and juice. We had talked about that a little earlier. Of course, it takes more apples to make the cup of juice, so you're adding way more sugar. And remember what the doctor told me about reconsidering juice in my morning smoothie. But let's be clear. I mean, there's vital nutrients in fresh squeezed juice, and although you may want to indulge on occasion, it should not be the regular ritual, is what we're saying. Anyway, what you're missing in the juice is the fiber. Think about that too. So which one would be more satisfying? The apple, for me at least, because you can munch it longer. It takes a while to munch that delicious sweet apple down to the core, providing you with extended ecstasy. So yeah. So you know what's good. I would say what is absolutely delicious is a fresh mixed berry compote without the sugar, of course.
Oh
Now,
yeah, it's delicious,
is that
right?
delicious?
Yeah.
Because berries have less sugar than other fruit, and they will be a satisfying alternative to the fudge bar. So be mindful. You have choices. If you're having a glass of wine, I may want to say something different too here because I'm not a wine connoisseur, but if you're having a small glass of wine before your dinner, your date night dinner, you may want to rethink dessert because the wine and the dessert content quite a bit of sugar there. So I understand too that dry wine may be a better choice for sugar watchers. The sweeter the wine, the higher the sugar content, right?
Right, or
So
find some other way to get that. Find some other way to work around that too. I mean,
exactly.
that's part of what we're talking about too. There's
Right.
so many different alternatives now,
Mm-hmm.
and what we get to put in our body and what we don't. I mean, it
Yes.
used to be the argument used to be that we would be pondering over how do we get the food, how do we find out. But
Mm-hmm.
at least in this country, we have made great strides to making sure that we have alternatives. And you know, if
Yes.
people don't know, working with someone like you is a way for them to not just find out,
Yes.
but to find out in a way that they may not be aware of,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or would not really know very much about. And
Right.
I think that that's the difference now, you know, in what we're talking about. You
Yes,
know,
and I
we're
can certainly
talking about something, right? Completely different in
completely
terms of our
different.
choices.
Right, and I can certainly guide people because everyone's different. Everybody has different requirements. Each individual is unique, and I can help guide a person who is interested in improving their health and put them on the right track for what works best for them. So yeah, everybody is unique and different in that regard. And you know, and two, we need to spend some time talking about the causes of sugar cravings. Um, eh, Whenever you'd like to do that, Pat, but
Yeah.
I think that that's an important
Well, let's start the
subtopic here.
conversation. What are the
Yeah.
causes?
Well, okay. So, I mean, I don't know. I think that it's a good time to point out that sugar is not necessarily the shark in the sea. And we're talking about, drowning in sugar. In other words, it doesn't have to be the problem. With the proper knowledge and mindset, sugar actually becomes a solution. I know that seems kind of odd, but let me explain what I'm talking about here. Specifically, I'm talking about balance. It reminds me of yin and yang. In
Mm-hmm.
Chinese philosophy, these are the two forces that maintain harmony in the universe and influence people's lives. But how does it relate to food? So if you're constantly craving sweets, your system may be trying to tell you something. Perhaps it's out of balance. You may need to take the necessary steps to bring harmony back to your body and then ultimately back to your life to experience better health. And but how that's how sugar becomes, I think, part of the solution, letting you know that it's time to take action. So when you think about it, sugar in itself is not harmless. I mean, the box of cookies sitting on the grocery shelf that seems to be demanding your attention won't
Yeah.
affect you unless you decide to give it some attention. So you have choices. So what are some common causes for sugar cravings? There's this generic list of common causes of sugar cravings, like stress and lifestyle, salty foods, fatty foods, your career, your relationships, protein imbalances, and water. We haven't even talked about water on this show, but we have the show with my book where we may not be getting enough water. We may be hydrated. That's causing some of those imbalances. And speaking of stress, I mean, stress causes you to eat those not so good for you carbs. And eating too many simple carbs cause higher insulin levels. The excess sugar is converted to fat, and all of which can cause inflammation. And of course, inflammation can cause chronic diseases. It's a vicious cycle. And again, each individual is different, so
And
it's
it's all
important to find out that
interconnected.
it's all
It's a vicious
interconnected.
cycle and everything is
Hmm.
interconnected around it. And I
All
think
interconnected.
sometimes we really lose sight of that. You
Hmm.
know, we definitely think of, okay, wait, what do I do? How do I look at this different? What do I say about it? You
Hmm.
know, what might I decide that differently today that I'm going to do, and how am I going to do it?
Yes.
And, we can all have now new choices, can't we? I
We
mean, I
can.
think that's what we're talking
That's
about.
what it is just to step back and take a look at what you're doing, what you're eating. Oh, I didn't think about it that way. Hopefully we're offering some ideas to help you and guide you in your nutritional choices. Perhaps you didn't think about some of these things that we're mentioning on the show today. And then that way you can be a little bit more conscious of what you're ingesting and a little bit more mindful. Now, I wanted to share too that this is a powerful story
Uh-huh.
about sugar addiction.
Yeah.
I attended a lovely dinner and program sponsored by District 230 Foundation last year, and the guest speaker was Dr. Terry Walls. That's Wahls. She's a medical doctor who has an amazing story. She was diagnosed with chronic progressive neurological disorder and secondary progressive multiple sclerosis. She spent 4 years in a tilt recline wheelchair, and now she can bike 20 miles and is currently a clinical professor, author, speaker, and researcher. She reversed her diseases through dietary and lifestyle changes. And I'm mentioning her only because she says sugar and the processed carbs, like white flour, are killing us, and they're a major concern with the American diet. So I just wanted to bring her up. And another person that
Well,
I've been
that's,
following.
for people that are
hmm
listening to the show. I
Yes.
mean, what we're really talking about is, looking at some of these things which we intuitively know. But
hmm
now people are coming to the forefront, and what they're saying is, let me give you the idea. Let me give you this task to
Yes.
really do some research for yourself. But more importantly, okay, how about if you stepped out there
hmm
and maybe what you did is made a conscious decision about what to do in your life that may be different?
Yes.
What if you didn't buy that thing that you buy on a regular basis?
hmm
What if you did not buy it, let's say,
Yes.
and you knew it had some, just one thing? We're just talking about one thing for today. But what if you decided, I'm not going to buy that thing today? I'm really going to hold back for a little bit.
hmm
Aren't we really talking about how people's lives can change in this arena?
Absolutely. Just by making one change, like you say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one
Just
change.
one decision, one change can make a huge difference. Absolutely. Another person I'd like to mention too,
Sure.
especially because there are quite a few people who are interested in losing weight.
Yeah.
The more sugar you eat, the more sugar you want. I mean, like I said, that's a vicious cycle. Dr. Susan Pierce Thompson of Bright Line Eating,
Yeah.
she researches and speaks on the science of sustainable weight loss. And she says when we eat sugar, flours, and processed foods, a flood of dopamine is released into the addictive centers of the brain. So sugar, flour, and processed foods raises insulin levels. And if you want to lose weight, you have to dramatically lower your insulin levels. And that's cutting out those sugars and the flours. It's just not, sprinkling the sugar on your cereal. And like our other caller had called in and said, no, it's a combination of things. I mean, it's the sugar, the amount of carbs you're eating, and all that relates to your efforts in trying to drop the few pounds. And then too, William Duffy, people may have heard of him, the author of Sugar Blues. He says, like heroin, cocaine, and caffeine, sugar is addictive, destructive, and it's a poisonous drug, yet we consume it daily, and everything from, get this, cigarettes to bread.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
the thing that I think that we're up against with this conversation is
hmm
that we don't even know what it's in. I
Yeah.
mean, we don't
Right.
know, and I know people are really strapped to really live a simple and quick life and economically. And so,
hmm
yes, we do take things off the shelf and we
hmm
do say, let's serve them for dinner.
hmm
Um, and we don't really look at every single label. That's really part of our problem.
hmm
Time and time management for a lot of folks is our greatest challenge in all of this.
Yes.
I'd rather just take that box of whatever it is, throw it in a pan, and cook it up for my dinner
Right.
because I know what it's like to be busy. So do you.
Yeah.
Um,
It's
Yeah.
It's convenient. It's
Mhm.
convenient. And we
Mhm.
don't spend the time to take a look at the nutritional labels and see what's there for us, what we're supposed to be
Mhm.
ingesting in our system and making sure that our cells are getting the nutrients that they need
Yeah. And
to
I think
make
so
this
many
work.
people have stayed away from dates, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Because of the bad rap they got about their
Mm-hmm.
sugar content. But you've
Mm-hmm.
got some of those recipes in your recipe book. So let's tell
Absolutely.
people about the book for a minute, if we could.
Yes, let's do
We've
it.
talked about
Okay.
it a bit.
Yes, great. Well, the recipe book would be actually a way for you to rescue yourself from
Yeah.
from the situation that you're going through now with sugar. And I would say that the name of the book, I remind people that it is Sip the Garden, Fun, Easy Drinks for a Healthier Family. So I consider it your life raft. So your life raft has arrived. And the book is a fun book because it provides a variety of different activities in there for the families, but it's based on one concept, and the one concept is changing what you drink, providing families with one manageable lifestyle change that will positively impact your lives. Just switching out soda, that's all. Switching out soda for delicious blends that I've created in the book will not only provide numerous health benefits, but will also serve up some sweetness in your life. That's what we want. We don't want to deprive ourselves. We want to be able to have a little sweetness in our lives. So, a yummy drink recipe book offering families an alternative to junk drinking. And my motto in the book is think before you drink and drink drinks that help you think. Each recipe uses nature's bounty to create colorful, fresh, delicious, wholesome plant and water-based beverages. Now, just to give you a couple of quick examples, there's a drink called Figgy Fudge. And in Figgy Fudge, that's in the book, all you're using is one date. That's it as your sweetener. And there's this other drink called Cashew Nog, for example. You're only using a teaspoon of coconut nectar, and it's optional. And this Radiant Yellow, which is a vegetable drink, you're only using a pinch of stevia. So you're able to get your sweetness there, but gosh, you won't even be able to count that on a scale because it's just really not, you won't be able to measure it because there really isn't that much sugar in those drinks. They've been carefully formulated so that each drink is very, very low amount of sugar, including the fruits that you're adding. Absolutely.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well, and what we're looking at here is we're looking at an idea which says, okay, we can make one change at a time. That's what we're doing. And
Hmm.
how does I want to talk about this, the play that you've created, and
Hmm.
tell folks again what it is and where it's going to be held, because, what you're really doing is really influencing a brand new and different dialogue for
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're saying, wait a minute, we can kind of do this in this way.
Hmm.
Why do we have to, like start here and think we are subjecting ourselves to this ridiculous lifetime of gloom and doom
Yeah.
and all of the above? So I think it's important for us to talk about that.
Well, my mission with this play is to help combat childhood obesity, and I'm thinking about all the damaging effects that poor nutrition has on the body, and we're talking about specifically sugar because um, you can steal minerals from your body. Um, uh, and if you're eating more and more, the more sugar you want, the more sugar you eat, the more you want. It's so causing you to consume more and causing damage to tooth enamel, which can lead to decay and stress on your liver, causing fatty buildup. And it alters your mood. Poor eating habits also decrease your ability to concentrate, not just related to sugar, but related to a healthy lifestyle. So, and sugar can contribute to skin conditions as well. So, in the play, we're focusing on healthy meals. It's three parts: healthy meals in part one. Part two is healthy snacks and other activities related to lifestyle. And then part three is the exercise component. So I think it's great for that reason. Just introducing kids to a different way of life just sort of opens up a new conversation for them that they may not have had before. I've been involved in preparing uh, giving the kids a taste or a sample, doing a little demo before we actually get into our routines 3 times a week. So I've been preparing demos for them, and they've enjoyed the foods, the new foods that they've been tasting. The other day we had slices of jicama with hummus, and they had never tasted that before. And then we tasted, go, oh my gosh, this is really good. I like this. So yes, it's an educational piece for the entire community. And again, it's called Junk Food Junkie No More. You can find out more information about it by going to the events page on my website and clicking there. And of course, we are accepting any donations that you're willing to send forward to help this be a successful performance. And the performance is on August the 14th, and it's being held at New Mission Temple, COGIC. It's at 4700 West Polk in Chicago, and it's at 3:00.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for a great show today. Again, give out your website. And what's your personal message?
My personal message, gosh, there's so many, Pat. I feel like we always need an extra hour on our shows here, you know. But I do want to tell people that that considering everything that we discussed, I want them to know that perfection is not required. We're talking about we've got to live our life. So I'm thinking about the 90-10 rule. You decide to eat healthily most of the time, and then when you go on out on a special occasion, that specially prepared dessert that someone is, that is offering you, this is what I call mindful indulgence. You won't feel guilty because you know that you have changed the way that you think about sugar, the way you think about food, and you have drastically reduced added sugar to the tune of 90% of the time. Now, how wonderful is that? Yeah. So remember, this has to be, you're looking for a lifestyle change that works, one that's not focused on deprivation, one that's satisfying and offers desired results that will last a lifetime. So I like for everyone listening, thank you so much for listening, and to give yourselves a big hug. Everyone, give yourself a big hug. You're worth the change. Your family's worth the change. And you will be surprised how your taste for sugar will change with your new lifestyle. There's so much to gain. Yeah. Excuse the pun. So give your lifestyle 2 to 3 weeks, and your lifestyle change 2 to 3 weeks, and you will start wondering why you have so much energy. Why you're feeling so good. If you're crawling now, you'll be walking. And if you're walking now, you'll be running. With a healthy mindset, your new lifestyle change will be a piece of cake.
All right. Thank you. TK Mitchell, everybody. I'm Dr. Pat. We'll see you next time.
Oh, I beg him, please sing him. Come out of things unsaid. Shoot an apple off my head, and a trouble that can be made.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.